that I asked before, like, is the food I'm eating helping me or hurting me? Is there anything else you can suggest? Is there any type of physical thing I can do to help my body? Because I never believed that, you have this sickness and you just have to deal with the pain and suffering. For some reason, I just always thought that there was a different way to kind of deal with it. So I slowly started looking into berries. That was one of the first things. I went to my hematologist and asked him about the noni berry, the goji berry, the acai berry, the mangosteen, things like that. And he was like, yeah, those are powerful antioxidants. Like those things fight pain. They're anti-inflammatories and they build blood. I was like, that's all I have to hear. So I started just doing that redundantly. Every day I would eat a certain amount, drink a certain amount. And for the first month, for the first 3 months, I didn't get sick. And my family was just amazed. So at that point, I struggled, but slowly but surely, I kind of just changed my lifestyle, changed my eating habits, raised my spiritual knowledge and my wisdom. And, here I am today. I started a nonprofit called Sickle Cell Natural Wellness Group, and I go around, visit churches, homes, hospitals, and schools, and I help people that aren't feeling well feel better. I help them enable themselves to take care of themselves so they can live their lives. Anyone, any age. I help young kids, babies younger than 2 years old, to adults, to senior citizens with sickle cell. And the information I share is very universal. So people with cancer, people with diabetes, people with MS, people with fibromyalgia can kind of follow some of the tips that I put out there, and it will help them as well. Hello?
Yeah, we're here. We heard you. Okay, so now sickle cell, anybody, any age can get it?
Yeah. Sickle cell is hereditary. Sorry, I didn't mention that. Sickle cell is hereditary, and pretty much the mom and the dad have to have the sickle cell trait just for the child to have it. And it's a 25 to 50% rate that the child will be born with sickle cell. And basically, sickle cell cannot be passed on any other way other than in the gene, so it's hereditary. And anyone can get it, any skin color. The only place sickle cell is not found is in Antarctica. So it's actually found on every continent. I've met people of light skin with sickle cell, people with darker skin with sickle cell. I've met people with blonde hair, blue eyes with sickle cell. So sickle cell actually affects everyone, but it affects the quote-unquote African Americans more. It affects them as a larger demographic than any other race, you may say.
Okay, now, so there is no cure, basically in traditional medicine, that they are just trying to treat the symptoms?
Yeah, the cure is in the beginning stages. There are stem cell research and bone marrow transplants that are happening, that a few people are being cured, but it's still in the early stages. There's not enough funding. A lot of people can't afford it, or they can't find a match, or, it's a 50% success rate because they are administering a certain amount of chemotherapy and certain other things that may, puts a lot of stress on the body. Your immune system is actually compromised a year after the procedure, so that leaves you open to a certain amount of risk as well. So it's still in the very early stages. So as of right now, there's a really small percent amount of people that have been kind of cured from sickle cell, but it's not enough to really say that, yeah, there's a cure and, we're taking care of it and everyone's being helped. It's not at that stage yet.
Okay, now you said that you started out with berries. And it was every berry you could eat, or was it specifically one group of berries, and it was also for antioxidant the qualities of the berries, correct?
Yes, yeah. It was at one point. It was first the really exotic berries that people are going crazy about now, like the acai, the noni berry, the goji berry, and things like mangosteen. Mangosteen is amazing. Mangosteen has taken me out of pain better than a painkiller has. And certain things like that have really helped me. I started slowly kind of weaning my body off of processed foods, fried foods, fast foods. I stopped drinking soda. I stopped drinking fruit drinks. I stopped drinking alcohol. I stopped drinking beer. I stopped drinking excuse me, I stopped drinking wine, and I cut out a lot of things. I stopped eating dairy. I stopped eating meat. Eventually, I stopped eating fish. Fish was the last thing I stopped eating. And as of today, I am vegan, and that has helped me dramatically. I have so much more energy. I'm able to actually live my life the way I want to, and I just feel so much more connected to the earth. I feel a lot more connected to the universe and to my spirituality. And, I feel a lot more connected to my body. I'm able to communicate with my body and hear my body out when my body says it needs rest or this or that. A lot of people are getting sick nowadays, and they really don't know why or what's causing it, or that they are actually inflicting the pain. A lot of people don't even know that. So just kind of weaning myself off and adding new things, eating more plants, making green juice, making smoothies, drinking teas, making tinctures, just raising my knowledge up about herbs that heal and the holistic treatment. Also, acupuncture helped me a lot as well. So I just took on a holistic approach to my health, which helped a lot.
One of the things that I discovered when, we were doing Wendy's every lunchtime, and one of the guys at work began to bring in enough fresh vegetables to share. And so I started, I probably should eat these things. So I started doing it, and so then I brought in fruit to share. So we started to add this to the Wendy's menu. And it really was an interesting thing to see what happened, because the first things to go with the French fries, it was like all of a sudden I think I'll pass. And gradually I passed on Wendy's altogether, and we began to eat healthy. And so I never took anything away. I actually put things into my body that was better, and my body said, hey, I don't want that hamburger if I can have this lovely apple over here along with some broccoli and, a little pea soup or something. But I know that it worked for me, and so I recommend people, when you do try to make a life change like that, add, don't subtract initially. If you add it, it will your body knows exactly what it needs. Now, again, going back to the berries, TJ, because obviously some of these berries were taking you out of pain. So that is not just an antioxidant effect. It is something within the plant that is causing you, either symptoms are reducing so that you're not in the pain, or that it's actually blocking pain.
So this is basically what the berries do. It's an anti-inflammatory. So basically, when you have a sickle cell crisis, when you experience sickle cell pain, it could be various reasons, various stressors on the body, whether it's dehydration, whether it's the weather, the pressure in the air. There's a lot of different reasons why you could be having a sickle cell crisis. You could be fighting an infection. You could be very tired. You could be hungry. So when you eat these berries and maybe take a green juice, you're not only adding the anti-inflammatory aspect, you're also adding pain-fighting aspects, vasodilating aspects. So not only is it reducing the swelling, but it's your veins constrict when you have a sickle cell crisis. So eating these berries, eating these greens, juicing, stuff like that, it's creating an atmosphere in your body to just go back to where it was before the crisis. So it reverses the crisis. So, and that is in result become a painkiller, because, okay, it's adding oxygen to your body. It's adding oxygen to your body. It's creating the blood flow that was slowing down or that was not existent at some point. It's creating that again. It's creating new blood cells, stronger blood cells, so it stops the crisis. So all these things in end result stop the pain. And that was kind of the pivotal point for me when me and my mom were doing research, and we were like, okay, if we reverse the sickle cell crisis, that would end result stop the pain. A lot of times in medicine, we treat the pain. We treat the symptoms. We don't prevent the symptoms. You know what I'm saying? When we prevent the symptoms, we end result kind of prevent overall everything that's happening. So if you want to prevent the fatigue, you nourish your body well. If you want to prevent pain, you make sure you have a certain amount of antioxidants in your body. You make sure your body's at a certain alkaline level. You know what I'm saying? So end result, it'll stop the pain of this whatever sickness you may have. For example, cancer. If you're drinking soda, you're feeding your cancer. If you're drinking green juice, you're defeating your cancer. You know?
Okay, a lot of people don't know the reference between an alkaline and an acidic body and the relationship of health. Could you go over that just a bit so people come to an understanding of that?
Okay, so the body's alkaline level is, I forget the precise number, but the body, especially the stomach, is like 7.4 or 7.3. It's in the 7.3 to 7.5 area. And that is the body's homeostasis. If you're eating things at that level or a little higher, that will in fact provide nourishment for the body, anti-inflammatory areas, and literally cancer cannot survive in a body that has that pH level. When you're drinking things like bottled water, for example, which people think probably has a good pH level, it probably has like a 5 or a 4. Coke has a 2. So the lower pH levels are high acid, and the higher pH levels are low to no acid. So that is the main difference. If you have a lot of acidity in the body, that can cause things like acid reflux, that can feed cancer growth, that can feed, a lot of different illnesses that we have. So that is the difference between like a high alkaline diet and a low alkaline diet. Fast food would be a low alkaline, high acid diet. Eating a well-balanced diet of maybe plants and things like that, that would be a more alkaline, low acidity diet.
Well, you covered that very well. Thank you so much. Okay, now, you said you also used acupuncture. So you're using nutrition in the form of basic vegetation. And then you also are taking certain amount of acupuncture. How do you see the acupuncture in relationship to the overall nutritional health of your body? How did that fit in? Can you explain that a little bit?
Yeah, it's funny. I met an acupuncturist when I decided to start digging for other holistic ways of being treated, because basically I was just treating myself with food and herbs and whatever I could find myself. Doctors couldn't really provide anything for me, so I needed a doctor that could help me. And I learned a lot about sickle cell and nutrition from the Chinese. Chinese medicine, they've actually treated sickle cell for over 2,000 years. So they spoke about how acupuncture could treat the pain, it would treat the circulation and stuff like that. On one day I was presenting at a hospital. I used to volunteer and visit and bring like smoothies and tell them about food and stuff. And I met an acupuncturist there. He was presenting, speaking about nutrition, same thing I was talking about. So basically everything he did, he confirmed what I was doing. And he was saying basically he won't treat a client if they're not eating a certain way. So if they're eating food that would cause them to get sick for whatever ailment they want, he won't treat them. So it actually has everything to do with the diet. There's a quote that says the medical industry pays no attention to diet and pays no attention to food, and the food industry pays no attention to medicine. So that just leaves us in a really bad dilemma. And there's another quote that says basically if the patient doesn't care and doesn't eat well, then the doctor's job is never done. So that alone, basically, if you're eating right, whatever you're doing, it will assist all the holistic treatments you may get, whether it's massage therapy, because massage therapy is another savior that really helped me. Massage therapy helped me a lot. And so the acupuncture really helped because it helps reset my nerves. And if I have any spasms or loose tendons and stuff like that, the whole Ayurvedic Chinese medicine approach is very good at treating that.
Okay, so you're saying that the nutrition sets it up so that other alternative concepts can therefore take effect.
Exactly. It works better.
Yeah, if you don't have a good soil, it doesn't matter what you plant.
Yep.
Okay. All right. What else would you like us to know? I mean, talk about your organization. What is it that you do? I mean, expand on that if you like.
Okay, so the main goal of our organization is to spread sickle cell awareness and just raise global awareness for health and wellness alone. We want to be able to open up clinics in other parts of the world one day, in parts of the world that are impoverished, that are low income, parts of the Caribbean, parts of Africa where they have sickle cell, or parts of India where they struggle with sickle cell and they won't find the right resources. We're very into food and nutrition, so we want to be able to even set up farms in these areas as well, and self-sustainable, cities and rebuild communities that have, suffered. We want to be able to set up clinics and work along with the medicinal field to actually create a synergy to better treat our patients. A lot of doctors are opening their eyes now to the fact that food means a lot in treating your patients, and so does like medicine. Medicine helps. It's just medicine is not tested for long-range stuff. So basically, the goal of our group is to work alongside clinics, ERs, big-name hospitals, to actually create wellness programs that'll better treat the patient. So basically, if a patient gets sick and they go to the ER, they won't only administer medicine, but administer food and administer other plant-based, natural ways of healing. This will better assist the caregiver in providing the care that the patient needs. So we want to set up wellness protocols, health and wellness protocols in these areas where the patients need help and they are suffering. Another one of our goals is to be able to impact the lives of children and families with sickle cell everywhere. To the people that can afford it, we want to provide wellness information so they can go out and do it themselves. The people that can't afford it, we want to be able to provide food, ship wellness program, ship wellness goods, have doctors see them for free worldwide. We're doing that locally in our community right now, but we do want to reach out. I have shipped things in other places of the world, but we want to have a more of a global impact. And to be able to save the lives of millions, practically, America has at least 200,000 people with sickle cell, and people with sickle cell worldwide is in the millions, multi-millions. So in order to kind of help a demographic that large, we need a lot of support. And to gain support, we need to build awareness. And sickle cell needs to be a household name. So that's the other goal of Sickle Cell Natural Wellness Group, is to make sickle cell a household name, like cancer, for example, as bad as that sounds, but everyone knows what cancer is. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you go to the ER and they're like, what's sickle cell, or how long have you had sickle cell? Asking someone with sickle cell, how long have you had sickle cell, doesn't make sense, because you have sickle cell from the day you're born. It's either you have it or you don't. So just the education and awareness really needs to be raised, and that's something that we've been pathfinding. We've been on all the local radio stations. I've traveled and spoken in different parts of America. We've been on TBN. I've spoken about sickle cell and just plant-based healing through nutrition. And, we visit, like I said before, we visit churches, homes, hospitals, and schools. We give. Our passion is giving. We don't feel like we're doing anything if we're not directly giving to a family, directly helping someone better their lives, directly helping someone feel better when they're in pain. And we want to give people the support that they need. A lot of these families are low-income families, and they don't have the funds. They might not even have health insurance, so they can't even afford medicine. And if we can come in as an organization and work along with the medicinal field, or even just have enough resources to do everything holistically we can to help the family free of charge, that's basically what this organization is all about. We raise funds through visiting different venues, having different community events. We host our own events. We host art events, gallery shows, dinner galas, musical shows, everything. Right now we're trying to work on a few tours and things of that nature, and we actually have an event coming up next month in September called the R.E.D Show, and it's going to be at CNI Studios. It's at Fat Village Art Walk, which is a popular art walk in Fort Lauderdale. It's a popular art walk district in Fort Lauderdale. So that event's going to be huge. Usually at least 1,000 patrons come out to our walk. so we're expecting a large crowd, and we'll have a bunch of different fundraisers there and different activities to teach people about sickle cell, and we can educate people on how they can get involved and things like that. And like I said, it is an art event. There's going to be fashion, music, poetry, so there's going to be a little bit of everything. There's actually going to be a lot of vendors out there as well selling wellness products, women's accessories, art, food. So there's going to be a little of everything out there. Picture like a giant block party filled with art and music.
Yes, and that's Fort Lauderdale, Florida, USA.
Yes, that's Fort Lauderdale, Florida, on September 27th. And if you'd like more information, just visit scnwg.org and click on the blog tab, and you'll find a read-up right there about the R.E.D show to give you more information. And if you'd like to email us, if you know someone with sickle cell, if you would like to donate, you can also visit scnwg.org. You can email us at sccantstopme@gmail.com. That's sccan'tstopme@gmail.com. You can also call our number at 561-929-4454. And we have a lot of sponsors and supporters, one of them being the Cosmic Reality Shinjite store. We have Holistic Heights. We have Jennifer Allen, Dr. Charlie Ware, Healing Blends Global, Global Village Brand, NF Lifestyle, DSES. We have a lot. Sublime photos. We also just got a wellness basket from Whole Foods, and they've donated a basket for us to raffle to raise funds. We also got a watch from a jewelry company out in Chicago. And so we're getting a lot of support, but we do need more monetary donations and also just donation of resources. So, it's a mission that we are dedicated to. So we see ourselves doing this for a lifetime.
Okay, TJ, I want you to give your website again, but very slowly so people can hear it. We'll try to get it into chat, and we will put it up on the Facebook and stuff. But again, your website, and it's on the event announcements. But again, give me your website. We find that if the guest tells it, people remember it better than if we say it. So get ready to copy. He's going to give you the website. Go ahead, Jay. I'm sorry, TJ.
Okay, so the website name is scnwg.org. Or if you're having issues finding us, you can simply Google TJ Brown Sickle Cell or TJ Brown Natural Wellness or TJ Brown Health and Wellness, TJ Brown Green Juice. I mean, if you put my name associated with any type of thing to do with sickle cell health on Google, you can also find us on Instagram and Twitter at TJ_says natural, and you can visit our blog at TJ's Natural Wellness Movement, and we're all over. I mean, you can just use keywords in Facebook and Facebook Sickle Cell Natural Wellness Group. That's Sickle Cell Natural Wellness Group, and you should find all of our pages and links on there as well.
Okay, are you doing good? Are you feeling all right? You want to continue for a couple more minutes here?
Yeah. I can maybe talk for a little more. I can actually shout out our some more sponsors. We do have a lot of sponsorship, and to show our sponsors that we really appreciate their support, we do like giving them mentions when we have a chance to.
That's what we're all about. Go ahead.
Okay. So we also have a True Movement that is an artist company out of Atlanta. We also have Ava Michelle Designs. That is a fashion design group out of Atlanta as well. We have KDG Designs out of Miami. We also have Katrina's Caribbean Creations out of Fort Lauderdale or Boca Raton, Florida. And we also have we're affiliated with a lot of other sickle cell foundations as well. And right now we're working on wellness programs to be done maybe in Pittsburgh and areas like Atlanta, New York, and Florida. So these are things that if you have sickle cell, if you're interested in sickle cell research, these are things to look out for. If you guys would like any type of wellness information, you can visit our website, senwg.org, and go to contact, and you can personally contact us and let us know your ailments, and we can reply back with health information that you guys can use, to better yourself, to enable yourself. If you know anyone with sickle cell or would like to donate, we really want you to contact us. Don't hesitate, because you can save someone's life with a phone call or just a simple suggestion or reference. Okay. Also at the show, we're going to have a massage therapist, so that's always cool. People always like getting a massage. It has a lot of healing benefits, including anti-inflammatory and anti-stress. And I'm going to just give you guys the address to the R.E.D show. It's the R.E.D show at CNI Studios, and that's 514 Northwest 1st Ave, Fort Lauderdale, Florida, 33301. We're going to have also food trucks and DJs out there. We're going to have a lot of giveaways as well and games, so you guys be on the lookout for that as well. And I'm really excited about the show. One of the things I'd really like to say to people that out there is, whenever you have an issue that you're struggling with, and you feel like everything is coming against you and there might be no way out, anything is possible. And if you feel that something's not right, go with your gut feeling, because your gut feeling will 9 times out of 10 be that lifesaver decision, when you choose to follow your gut. And if you're struggling, whether it's financially, with your health, in a relationship, whatever, just take time to be with yourself and meditate, and try to rid yourself of negative thoughts and stressful situations, and you'll find your life will turn around. When I did this lifestyle change, I changed completely. All the friends I used to hang out with, all the activities I used to do beforehand, I stopped doing, and I had spent a lot of time alone, being sick first, so it wasn't hard for me to spend a lot of time alone in meditation and in research and kind of in cleansing and healing. And I mean, when I decided to do that, it was a huge life changer. I'm able now I remember when I was sick and I would be in the hospital, I would leave the hospital and be in the parking lot and have to go back before I left the hospital, because I was in so much pain. I was on 14 prescriptions a day. Now I'm on 0. And I was on things like R.E.D, morphine, hydrocodone, fentanyl patches. I was on every antibiotic in the book. I was on so many prescriptions, and I mean, if I can change my life, and if I can, rid myself of all those prescriptions and kind of better my life with just my own ability, without any exorbitant amount of money, because I'm not a rich man, with just the knowledge of gaining knowledge and acting on that knowledge and acting on that new knowledge, new awareness, I mean, it can change your life. And doctors that used to kind of badmouth me, they look up to me now. They're asking me for suggestions. I've had other doctors that have always believed in me, and they now suggest me every sickle cell patient they have. And I've had several different experiences in life that made me know that if I wasn't born with sickle cell, I wouldn't be the type of person I am today. So whenever you're born with something, or you have a really tough issue in your life, don't look at it as so much, like you said it in the beginning of the interview. You stated, you have a problem, so you find a solution. So everyone will have a problem in life. No one's life is perfect. So once you're thinking more solution-minded and not problem-minded, your life will always be more positive. And that's the major thing, to be more positive. Out of everything negative comes positivity. There's always duality in life, whether there's light and dark, night and day, good and bad. It's just your perception of it, but there is always duality, so nothing's ever perfect. But what you do is you try to make the best of every situation, and don't make the situation conquer you. So that's kind of the mindset that kept me alive today. I just went into survival mode, and I was at the point of my life where I was in the hospital every day. I was either in pain in the bed or in pain in a hospital room, and I had no social life. Everything was passing me by, birthdays, you know, I'd spend a lot of New Year's and Christmases in the hospital just watching New Year's from the TV bed. And, you know, it was depressing, but I never really let that control my life, or I never let that get me down or let that be the end all be all for me. I always knew that I had the power to change my reality. And, you know, it's just through believing that. And I remember even chanting for wisdom, chanting for peace, chanting to be blessed so I can bless others. And when you do these things, when you put these things in writing, when you chant them, when you believe them, you know, they really come through. You know, the Bible, for example, you know, I'm not really a very religious person, but they say, you know, God said, and let there be light. So basically anything you have that power too. You can speak anything you want into existence. You can be in a really bad situation and be like, you know what, I'm going to be in a better situation tomorrow. And that, you know, you create that reality. You manifest. You are the manifester of your reality. So that's kind of the message that I also want to share with people as well, is that no matter what you're going through, whether it's sickle cell or not, you are the master of your reality, and you can create your own reality. And what you're going through today, it's not becoming of you. It's only becoming of you if you let it. So you can totally be a different person tomorrow, or be in a better situation tomorrow if you try, if you just put that effort forward.
TJ, how old were you when you came to this conclusion? I mean, how long had you been in this, you know, basically bedridden pain? And what was it that triggered you into this new mindset?
Okay, so I was experiencing pain before I even was conscious of it. My mom said I would have really painful episodes before I was even 1 year old. I lost my spleen at 2, so I had major surgery at the age of 2. And I actually woke up during that surgery. I woke up and I remember distinctly, I have that memory from the age of 2, seeing the doctors over me in all white coats, fully covered in white from the top of their head to the bottom of their shoe, and they're literally like in my stomach. I woke up during that surgery. And in Jamaica, I didn't get sick a lot, which made a difference in me compared to other people. Living in Jamaica for about 8 years, I barely got sick. I maybe got sick three major times, and I really only went to the hospital like once. And it was because I was eating all the organic, natural foods that are grown in my backyard. My grandma has a house in Jamaica, and she grows everything in her yard. We could literally go out back or out front, or to any of the corners of the house and eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner at any given time of the day. So I was eating a lot healthier. When I moved up here around the age of 13, I was eating nothing but processed foods, the processed pizza, the Lunchables, the McDonald's, the Burger King, the pizza, stuff like that. So that was what got me really sick. So up until like 13 to the age of 20, I was just struggling health-wise. I would be in pain every month. There almost wasn't a day that I wasn't in pain. And I mean, this excruciating pain, bedridden pain, pain hurts so bad that you can't walk, you can't breathe, you can't talk. You know, it's really, I've heard a lot of people explain it, and sometimes they'll be like, oh, it feels like lightning bolts striking my bones from the inside out, or shards of glass flowing through my veins. So even just the description of the pain is really amazing. And the pivotal point for me was after I lost my spleen. Right before I lost my spleen, I had a really young doctor tell me, you're going to lose your spleen soon. And I go, why? He goes, because of your diet and because they've been giving me hydroxyurea and penicillin for like the past 8 years. He said, basically, your digestive system's shot. It's just completely shot. And 3 months later, on the dot, I lost my gallbladder. That was a defining moment, because after that, I had a stomach ache for a year. My stomach would not stop hurting. Josiah, everything I eat, everything I drink, I just had a constant stomach ache. It was miserable. And I met a guru. His name is Baba Pearson. And I went to his house, and this was like a couple months in after I started eating the berries. The berries would help me with the bone pain and joint pain, but the stomach pain I always had. And I went to Baba Pearson, and he made me a smoothie with like a coa and a bunch of different stuff. Like it was all raw as well, like raw yam, ginger, ripe plantain. He just made a really weird smoothie for me, and it tasted good. And the first sip, once that sip went like down into my digestive system, the pain stopped instantly. And I've had a lot of those occurrences where when I drink something, the first sip, the pain will stop. And a lot of people think you have to do all this amazing stuff for it to hit you, or you have to use a lot of it. That's why medicine is better, because you can get a better concentration. But that's not true. If you're taking something bioavailable and your body's not full of toxins, your body will readily receive these holistic benefits. So that being said, after taking that sip, and my stomach stopped hurting, I sat at his feet for like 2 hours, and he just spoke about how we're eating dead, how we're living dead, we're living just to get for a 9 to 5. We're not connecting with nature.
Excuse me, TJ, who's talking now? Where did you hear this?
Baba Pearson. Baba Pearson. Okay. He's a guru in our community. He does a lot of traveling and public speaking and a lot of cooking and a lot of stuff like that. He's the natural guru around here. And he was just telling me, you're eating dead food. He's like, do you know what happens to the cows and chickens and all that stuff? And he goes, you're putting that in your system. You don't have a spleen or a gallbladder. Plus you're eating all these emotions that these animals go through when they're dying and when they're stressed out and they're being abused. And I mean, it just made perfect sense. After that night, I just had that was just a life-changing moment. After that, I would say that was easily 4 years ago. After that, for like 2 years, I just watched documentary after documentary, read book after book, just did tons of research, read so much research done by doctors and stuff like that on health and wellness and nutrition, food, and a lot of spiritual research as well. And I mean, that night when I sat at his feet was the pivotal moment to where I knew I could change my life. I always knew that I had the power to change my life and that I didn't have to live sick and that I didn't have to live with sickle cell, but I didn't know how to do it. You know what I mean? I always knew that if I had a problem, I could always find a solution, but I just wasn't sure about this health thing. I didn't know that I was killing myself and I was eating the Taco Bell and the McDonald's and all that stuff. And I was just like you. I was actually eating Wendy's every day for lunch through high school, for my senior and junior year. Every day for high school, I had Wendy's, and I had the same meal every day as well. So I know where you're coming from when you say that as well. But yeah, that night when I sat with him and he just basically spoke into me all these things that I kind of already knew, and taught me how to get there, it just made all the sense in the world.
TJ. Well, they say that when you are, when the student's ready, the teacher, appears. Jay, did you have some questions, Jay?
Sure. Well, number one, hi TJ. I've been listening to your story. It's just fascinating, the kind of parallels. Now listen, I wasn't born with a disease, but I know what you've just been through a very similar process that I've been, but I haven't. I was fat, that, I suppose in a way it is a result of this, but because last year I had this episode, and what happened was I heard in my head, you have to stop eating death. And I thought, well, wow, what does that mean? I mean, first of all, you're eating meat, right? And so, chili con carnes and all that stuff. Now, I've been wanting to become more self-sufficient, and this seems to be the way to go, because if you don't eat meat, then you don't need cows and all those other things. I still drink milk, and I still feel that that's contributing to a certain amount of sludginess. And what you're talking about, man, I mean, it's my body is changing, and I'm becoming a lot more healthy, and I'm not like exercising or anything. I'm just eating food that I'm growing myself in my own yard. And what it seems to me to be is that there's nothing wrong with you. It's just that there's everything wrong with everything else.
Yeah.
That's you know, it's just like, you know, you have the canary in the coal mine, because the canary, if the oxygen drops, then the canary will faint first because it needs a lot more oxygen than we do, and when the canary faints, it's an indicator for everybody to get out of the mine because they're going to lose oxygen. And so what you're experiencing is a warning to everybody. This is the end of that lifestyle. You got to stop this.
Yeah.
It's bad for everybody. It's bad for the creatures that are being farmed. They're conscious. They're consciousness, just like us. They feel things just like us, you know. And they're awake in the nightmare, like you've been. So my heart goes out to you, my friend. And I've got a great Jamaican track for you at the top of the hour. Bless you.
Sweet.
You got any questions for him, Jay?
Well, question. I don't know. But you know, the whole death. See, my guide said you got to stop eating death, and so I've been investigating, and probably you come to the same conclusions. Is that there is an industry in death, and it's that continues. It's like whatever gets rid of dead bodies becomes an industry, and it, you know, extends to prisons, extends to human trafficking, live bodies that are considered dead legally, and all that. And then you've got the military-industrial complex, which is all about creating dead bodies.
Oh yeah.
And you know, and arms companies, which is certainly about, you know, creating mincemeat. And then you have what you were saying, the food companies and the so-called medicine companies, which are both producing toxins that are fighting against each other. So we are attacked on every single pore, and not only, you know, every pore in our body, every place where things can be jammed in, plus places where they shouldn't. They stick things into us, and you know, to me, it just feels horrible. You know, it's like Hellraiser.
Yeah, I totally agree with you and connect with what you're saying. Like the whole eating dead and sludgy thing, like I got past the whole eating dead part, and what kind of weaned me off of the whole eating meat and dairy was the sludgy feeling. As sludgy as you feel, like I'll feel that 20 minutes after I eat. So instantly I'm feeling it. You know what I mean? And what you said about how, like, my body or what I'm going through is like a warning to the world, I feel like that too. When I was younger, I used to look at sickle cell as a curse. And as of late, I've looked at it like a blessing. It's like a superpower almost, because I can go around and tell you everything that's bad for you. I just have to try to eat it, you know? And my body's so sensitive to it that I'll react. So it's led me to live a very narrow type lifestyle, but in the end, it's kind of result in helping a lot of people.
I wanted to point out something that you said earlier, referencing how that first sip of a drink, all of a sudden you can feel a sensation of healing, helping. You know, that's what I have come to understand, is that we're energy bodies living in an energy universe. When you take in any kind of nutrition into your body, well, you end up, you know, eliminating it all. I mean, the amount that you take in, sometimes you can't believe that you're you know, eliminating is that much because you didn't eat that much. So it's like it's going in and then it's coming out. Well, what in the hell is happening? What's happening is that the cells are energetically being given nutrition. It's not chemistry, it's not molecules, it's not fats, and it's energy. Now, yes, the fats and everything in the milk and all of that will add to a sluggish thing within your body because it is 3D. But the reality of nutrition is that you need to get energy. And when you think of it in those terms, you have to look at it and you say, do I want an energy that's a gift of an apple that is pure, as long as there's no pesticides on it, that's pure, that's not hurting the tree, that is full of sun energy and rain energy and Gaia energy? Do I want that, or do I want what happens to a poor cow? And if you think in terms of energy, then it starts to become very, very clear that why are we doing this? This doesn't make sense. And the closer you are to nature, in that if you go out to your garden and you pick a pea out of the garden, that pure energy, I mean, you take a bite of it and it like explodes in your system, because we're energy bodies.
Yeah, we're all vibrational beings. So just that being said, everything carries a vibration. I remember that I think it was that same night or that same week watching, right after I spoke to the elder, the guru, that's the elder, he sent me a bunch of links, and one of them was the Gerson theory. Have you ever watched that?
No, I don't think so. Can you say that slowly?
It's called the Gerson therapy. It's Max Gerson. He was actually one of the first people documented to cure cancer. And he created a vegan diet that he grew food from organic soil and treated his clients organically with vegan diet and cured thousands of cases of cancer and other illnesses. And this was back in the early 1900s, around that time when medicine was just evolving. And he was just amazing. He was able to do a lot of research, and there was another doctor in the documentary they show that actually takes these photos of everything: a rock, an apple, a human, a blade of grass, whatever. And they all actually give off light fields. With this certain camera, you can see the light fields that all these things are giving off. We all, how they say things have auras, and that's real. And there's actually a camera that can capture that. And based on looking at the aura, what color it is, where the light is more dark, where the light is more bright, he can tell you how sick or healthy you are. Like, they actually took a picture of an organic apple and a GMO apple, and the GMO apple was just like disgusting looking, and the organic apple had this bright beam of light coming from it. So just even that, everything is light and wave frequencies. So saying that alone, if you're eating things that are high vibrational and that have intentions of good and intentions of healing, that's what it's going to do,
Now, is that Curlian photography that they were using?
I think so. I don't know the term, so I really can't say yes or no, because I'm not familiar with the term.
If it's Curlian photography, which is the only way that I know to catch the auras, essentially what you're doing is you're energizing the etheric body with high frequency energy, and that high frequency energy can then come through and be photographed. It's an electromagnetic intensification of the energy field. And so, yes, it allows us to see these things in a physical way, in that you see it on a photograph. But more importantly, it proves the darn things are there.
Yeah.
So, that's fascinating. I know that they've done some work in there, but I didn't see any of that on the plants. It makes so much sense. That's why, we introduced you to shungite. Because
that's what I was thinking.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying, that's what I was just thinking about. Even the shungite would give off like a really, all the healing stones could give off a certain amount of light that could show us their vibrational, properties or whatever.
You just broke up. Can you say that again for me, because I didn't get it?
Oh. Okay, no, I was saying that, the shungite, for example, and the other healing stones, taking photography of things like that could help us find out and gain more insight on the vibrational properties. You know what I mean?
Yes. One of the things about shungite is that it's been so highly investigated, and when I first got into looking at the research that was done, it became very confusing because the translations into English, gosh only knows how many languages it might have come from its original source in a Russian language. So it was confusing because they were saying things about shungite and using words that were not energy words. They were saying shungite will block or absorb electromagnetic and other radiations. So you have this weird kind of situation where the literature didn't sound right to me because I knew it was energy. And finally, I worked my way back closer and closer into the Russian, and I finally started seeing the word attenuate. So what they're saying is that when you have shungite in the picture, it actually interferes with the electromagnetic / Wi-Fi / nuclear / geo, what is that? I never remember that name.
Geopathic stress.
Geopathic stress. All of those things.
Wow.
All of those energies are being attenuated. They're being modulated. They're being changed from being negative to being positive. So if you've got something like shungite that can be so easily measured in many, many ways, because I have no doubt that the Soviets, the Russians, that the ones that are into investigating with the ability to look at the energy bodies, because they're way ahead of the Western, medicine. Well, the West doesn't want
just everything. Just everything. Just everything.
You're right. It's everything. But their ability to understand the shungite has led them to say that it's the medicine of the 21st century. And I don't necessarily think that they're, again, translation, saying that shungite is the medicine of the 21st century. I think that they're saying energy healing is the medicine of the 21st century. And shungite just happens to be, a beautiful, beautiful modulator of our own physical energy bodies. Because I believe that it's resonating at the earth frequency. And by doing that, it's causing our bodies to operate in the bioelectromagnetic field where we were born to vibrate in. That's the natural field. And that's why you see bugs attracted to it. There are stories about bugs. This one lady watched a cockroach, a German cockroach, come out of the, wherever it came from, walk across the floor, walk up the desk to where the computer was sitting, and got on a nugget of shungite and fell asleep, or at least stopped moving until she got freaked out.
That's so crazy,
isn't it? And we have bees. If you put it out, you'll see the bees are attracted to it. People with the earrings are having more problems with mosquitoes. Even it's crazy, but not if you understand that those insects, just like us, were designed to operate in a certain bioelectromagnetic field. And if they can find that field, then they feel, oh my God, I'm healthy. Oh my God, it feels so good. So they want to be attracted to it.
It's a natural instinct.
Yeah, one woman had a pendant on, and she was in a pet store, and this lovebird jumped off the perch right onto the pendant and continually rubbed against the pendant and was like purring. It's like, so, but I look at shungite as being a way not only to assist people in just innumerable ways. We keep getting back reports of people having good experiences with it. We don't have a lot of people talking back to us, so maybe they had no experience with it. But I doubt that, because I think what happens is that somebody is, like in my case, I tell this story all the time, but it's what happened. I had to run to a mailbox, and I got out of the car, and I'm running to the mailbox, and I'm going like, you're crazy, you can't run that far. And I run over, I drop the thing in the mailbox, I run back in the car, I get in, and I'm not even winded. Now, I knew that I had physically was feeling better, but I didn't realize that I had changed so dramatically that I never would have been able to do that prior to shungite. And I have added nothing to my life, including exercise. So so you say, oh my God, maybe it's the shungite. And I say it to people around me who say, yeah, it probably is the shungite. But other people say it to somebody and they get cursed out for being such an idiot. And so then all of a sudden now they're going like, oh, maybe that's not, and they pull back their support of it. Well, because it's energy and because our minds do create reality, then when we were putting out the energy saying shungite is really, really powerful, man, it's just cooking. But if we all stop thinking that, well, then all of a sudden the power draws back. Fascinating. We were discussing between ourselves how, this journey that you've been on is just incredible. And as Jay said, all we have to do is follow what you've done, and we can all get to a state of health. And therefore also a balanced energy, which then feeds into the collective good.
Yeah, and just the one consciousness, the whole consciousness of the planet.
Absolutely, absolutely. Is there anything you want to say to leave the audience? I mean, you've done such an amazing job. We really appreciate it. But is there something else you'd like to add?
Thank you so much. First of all, I'd just like to thank you guys for having us on there, and I would just like to, dedicate love and support to the passing of the founder of this radio station. He's doing a great thing, and he did what I basically would like to do is, once I pass away, have something that people are passionate about and will keep going for the greater good of everyone else. And I would just like to give thanks to Thought Coalition and Neatherzine. They're helping us put the show together as well, as far as the artists go. And we have a lot of shows. We've had, since it started in 2010, I've had over 80 shows in South Florida and other parts of America. So we've done a lot of work. And, I'd just like to thank all the listeners. And once again say, if you have any information at all, just feel free to contact us. We will have our links, on Wolf Spirit Radio and also on SENWG. And thank you so much for all our listeners. And like I said, if you feel like there's something in life you need to do, but you're having doubt, just erase the doubt and, kind of just go with your gut feeling. Your gut is never wrong.
Oh, thank you so much, Jay. I keep saying Jay, TJ, I'm so sorry. I just want to say, from my heart that I honor your journey. I just wish you and your organization as much success as can be. Hopefully, because we're going to be there. We're going to be with you there in Fort Lauderdale.
Awesome.
Because we, A, because we know you, and B, because you've given us an opportunity to interface with an even greater audience that, in the concept of cosmic reality, Shungite store. Just keep up the good work and know that, you may not hear it from a lot of people enough times, but that what you're doing with your own one journey, the fact that you were able to do what you have done, has an impact on the super consciousness that we way underestimate. The fact that, we're here with Wolf Spirit still going because Dave gave us a good vehicle that we're spiffing up a little bit and proceeding along the voyage. When all of these people do put their energy out there, it affects the rest of us. And you have affected us in a very intense way, even if you, A, don't know it yet, and B, even if we don't know it yet. So I honor you. Thank you so very much for joining us. We'll have you back if you want, at some future time when you've got something more to say, more to give us. And
Cool.
Just have a good, rest of the day. Have a beautiful day and be safe.
Thank you so much. Much love to all the members of Wolf Spirit Radio.
Appreciate you. Okay.
Thanks very much, TJ. Good night.
Okay, good night.